some of the rumors I see online, people on social media, especially like Twitter and Facebook, all you need to do is just make some kind of infographic and just post it. I swear to God, just post it. And then people are like, oh, it's news. It's latest anime news, man. I saw this headline getting posted. Like, number one, the first time I saw like something blow up like this was during like the JJK, the West versus Japan episode rating debacle, where people are like, oh, Japan has a rating of this for JJK and the West rated this for JJK. And I'm like, and people are like, Japan doesn't have a rating site. Where is this news manufactured from? We are just manufacturing rage bait and then starting wars for no reason. And the latest iteration I've seen of this was, I saw this infographic that being posted around that people just took as fact, where it was just like, yeah, one episode of Invincible costing $2.5 million versus the final episode of Jujutsu Kaisen only costing $150,000. And I'm just like, where the are you getting these? Where are you getting these numbers from? What are the sources for these numbers? This is insane. This is okay. First off, right? I have no fucking doubt that an episode of JJK is cheaper than an episode of Invincible. I have no fucking doubt, because things are cheaper in Japan. Animation is cheaper to produce in Japan. A lot of media is more cheaper to produce in Japan than it is in Hollywood or the West. I have no fucking doubt that it was always going to be cheaper. But we are just like fabricating numbers out of our ass, I swear to God, because there was like no source for this. The source was like some random news account, and the only thing that made it a random news account was it had the word anime news in its name. Never heard of this fucking account before. Probably just some random account. And like, I would say that $150,000 for one single episode of JJK is, I would be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked. And I'm only saying this because I don't have any official sources, but I'm pretty confident that JJK cost a hell of a lot more than that. How much did Barn cost? I can't say the exact numbers, but I can say that the amount of $150,000 is significantly less than what one single OVA that I made cost. And JJK is one of the top IPs from one of the most reputable studios in Japan, right? So it is the number is ridiculously far off from what the actual number probably would be for a mega production like JJK, man. And I just think you could have got, if you wanted the headline, you could have made a better estimate you could have done your research. You could have made a better estimate to what the episode budget would be. The information is out there. I believe like a more accurate estimation, don't just take my word for it, but I believe there was this interview recently from an actual anime producer that actually broke down how much like the budget range for a lot of modern anime. And I would say reading that interview, the interview was far more in line with my experience for budget discussions when it just came to what I paid for Barn. But 150K, I think a standard anime episode would have cost that. A bog standard anime episode would have cost that maybe like 10, 20 fucking years ago, man. We're just fucking making numbers out of our ass at this point. Every episode of One Punch Man season 3 costs $350. Well, here's the thing. It's always a fallacy when it comes in terms of budgets, right? Because I feel like even to get good animation, you don't just need budget. You need talent. You need connections as well. You need the right staff members. But if you need to reach a minimum level of budget spend to even reach the lowest bar. Right, you need a minimum budget that you are willing to spend, and anything above that comes with the talent and staff members and the resources you have. And most importantly, I would say one of the most important things is the scheduling and how much time you have to work on a project as well. Ah, yes, ChatGPT, the best source. ChatGPT says it costs between 150k to 300k per episode of JJK. Oh man, we're so cooked if people are going to ChatGPT for that. You know what? That actually checks out. Now that you said that, I wouldn't be surprised if this random news site got their figures from ChatGPT itself. We found the source. It was ChatGPT. Oh man, yeah. ChatGPT asks. ChatGPT says that it costs this much. Why do people only use ChatGPT as their research sources? I don't know, man. Because it's convenient, and because people don't care anymore. It's convenient, and it's unfortunate. I want to see if I can find the article that I saw. It was budget interview. I would say personally, and this comes from this only comes from experience speaking from budget discussions about Barn, but I saw this breakdown about an interview with an anime producer, kind of like breaking down his presentation on what anime budgets could cost. And I would say that there is a big variance in terms of budgets. So it's hard to be like, okay, this anime probably costs this much, because in the modern day and age, different studios have different pool and different partners like Netflix and Crunchyroll, and a lot of international stream partners have completely changed the ecosystem of anime funding. But I would say that this article actually seems like it's a lot more accurate to what you could expect when it comes to accurate anime funding and accurate anime budgets. I would say that Barn, even for like a typical anime episode, was more on the higher end. And the reason for that was because I didn't make a full season. I made one singular episode. And making one single episode, a lot of the cost actually wasn't in the animation itself. It was in the pre-production, because I basically still needed to do all of the pre-production work, but only fund one singular animation episode. And if I had funded an entire season, the cost per episode would have been cheaper. But yeah, it says like the cost for anime for like a weekend morning anime is nowhere near the same of what it would cost for a streaming platform and game IP anime ecosystem, which in this one says it can cost from like 40 to 60 million yen per episode. And for like the big anime TV episodes with like overseas headquarters commissions, which is basically just like your Netflix shows, your international produced shows, it's like 70 to 300 million yen per single episode of anime. And like I said, like the variance is fucking high, but I think this is a much more trusted, I would say reading this, this is a much more trustworthy breakdown than whatever ChatGPT could what ChatGPT could come up with, man. But that is my rant done.